Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Golf and Greenkeeper podcast. My name is Steve Smith, and I'm your host, and I'll welcome you to a fantastic new episode of Stint Golf Solutions and Colin Campbell Chemicals Walking the Fairways. Now sit back, enjoy this one, you're in for a real treat. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's great to have Dint here as a partner of the Golf and Greenkeeper podcast on Walking the Fairways, and I've got Adam Dinty with me. G'day, Adam. How you doing, mate?
Good, Steve. How are you?
Mate, I'm very well and very excited. Let's start off with a little bit of fun here, and you can give us an update on how the Dint footy tipping is going, mate. How's it all going around Australia?
Yeah, going well, mate. It's dominated. The NRL's being dominated by the Queenslanders.
Oh, they got one up on us Blues.
Mate. Yeah, well, let's give it a month or two and see.
So who's leading?
So we got Carpentaria leading, and they're followed by Mackay, and then Springwood, mate, from where you're from, actually, from your area.
Oh, wow. Yes, very good. So we've got a couple of North Queenslanders in there, and then we go to the Blue Mountains where Scott Cameron is superintendent, which is brilliant. So leading the team there at Springwood Golf Club. Mate, that's fantastic. I mean, how's the AFL ladder looking for the footy tipping?
Mate, we've got Royal Hobart at the top. And then we've got Tea Tree Gully in South Australia, Benny, and Royal Perth in third space.
Fantastic!
No Sydney or Victorians. Which,
and some great examples there, some great teams going around, mate. That's great fun and good to shout out to all those teams that are listening as well. So congratulations to those leading, and hopefully they can continue with their form. Now, mate, we need to talk about something that you guys have available to the marketplace, and that is your extra cut brush. That is an attachment that goes on all major branded Triple X greens mowers, mate, and it improves the cut quality. Tell us a bit about what you've got.
These things have been outstanding. We've been blown away by how popular they are. They're a brush that fits on, as you said, onto the front of all machines, but stands up the leaf before you cut and just gives you a much more precise, better cut. And me and Jonathan, my brother, we were over at Harrogate a couple of years ago at the conference there, and we met the gentleman who runs Sports Metals, and he has these brushes in the UK and America, and he didn't have a distributor in Australia. So we had a chat with him and bought some in last year. They came in around spring, and we got 20 or 30 of them just out onto the market, and the feedback was resounding. We've got about 100 coming in, which are pretty much sold now.
Wow.
So they have been, I've been doing this for 20 years, Steve. It's been one of the most popular products that we've had.
That's fantastic.
So all the info on them, we've put videos up on Instagram. We've got stuff on our website. Everything's there. Obviously, the reps that you guys see out there would be happy to show you. We even got a couple of demos floating around. Very,
very good to hear, mate. And look, anything that makes the quality of the green surface and the quality of the cut from the greens mowers themselves is a bonus. And these are the sorts of things that are attainable to all sizes and different budgets of golf clubs, which is great to see that you've got available, mate, to the marketplace.
And what's also been great is that the golf courses who haven't got as many staff are really liking this one. So it's not just for the top end, but the courses who are, a bit light on numbers are really enjoying this product.
Fantastic to hear, mate. Now, how can we get in touch with you through the website and emails? What's the best way?
Mate, anywhere, anytime, mobile, email, website, Instagram, anywhere. We've got, contact your local Dint rep. Contact me directly, whatever works.
And we'll have clickables in the show notes that people can to click to go straight to those social media platforms as well, and your email details, mate, so they can check them out there. Thank you so much, Adam, for some great information on a great tool that's available to the greenkeeping industry.
Thanks, Steve. Also, mate, we got some great feedback. I've heard about your podcast with Adam at Royal Sydney. A lot of people talking about that as well, which is great.
No, it's been very well received, and yes, lots of chatter, which is really good because it's very, very impressive and worth talking about. We're going to hear a lot more about that one too, so thank you, mate. Great feedback to hear. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, Walking the Fairways is also brought to you by Colin Campbell Chemicals. Don't forget, Colin Campbell Chemicals is a 100% Australian-owned company that's been going for 85 years strong. They offer a wide range of plant protection products to help you keep your turf safe. Now, Nadeem, as I know you all know by now, Nadeem is part owner of Colin Campbell Chemicals, and he's going to be out supporting the industry over the coming months, and he's given me his calendar just to let you know where you can catch up with him and listen to him speak, of course, and also pick his brains for any questions you might have. Now, trust me when I say he can help you out. Nadeem has a wealth of knowledge of how to help you when it comes to protecting your turf. He also has an enormous contact list of other industry experts and professors in turf from right around the world. So when I say he can help you, trust me, he can help you. Now, starting off with the STA New South Wales Sports Turf Solution Day at Valentine Sports Park in Glenwood in Western Sydney, Nadeem will be there and he's going to be doing a talk about weed and also POA management, and that is on Wednesday the 21st of May. Then he's going to be at the STA Western Australia event talking about GPS spraying with the POA Cure product that they have, and also about the new changes to bromoxynil. So he's going to be over in WA, so there's lots going on there. Like I said, pick his brains, catch up with him, say good day, and of course mention the podcast to him when you see him. Nadeem will also be, not long after that, he's going to be at the New South Wales Golf Course Superintendents Association Day for the 2IC and Staff Day. Now there he is planning to talk about fungicide management. I know that's coming up and it's not too far away there. And also for the Victorian Association, for the Victorian Golf Course Superintendents Association there, for their course staff day, which is going to be hosted at Cranbourne Golf Club. Now Cranbourne is of course Superintendent Nico Douglas's course there that he leads the team on in Melbourne, down in the Sandbelt, where Nadeem's going to be talking about Pythium. And he's going to be also detailing the differences in the three main types of Pythium there that are found on golf courses. Now, of course, following all this, Nadeem will be part of the Colin Campbell Chemicals stand at the Australian Sports Turf Managers Association trade show for the annual conference in Sydney this year, which is on the 24th to the 26th of June. So if you're going to that, make sure you get to the Colin Campbell Chemical stand and say good day to Nadeem as well. Now, he'll be there showcasing their products, the wide range of products from Campbell Chemicals, as well as an update to POA mapping and using the John Deere GPS sprayers with POA Cure, of course. Now, make sure you hit up Nadeem with any of those events if you see him. He's very good for a yarn and to, of course, help you out, which he is passionate about. Don't forget to check out their website for details of their plant protection product range and, of course, their Behind the Turf podcast at campbellchemicals.com.au. Now, with no further ado, this is episode number 120. Now, we're going to kick this walking the fairways off, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me while I just make a quick phone call. We are going straight into South Australia, where I have on the line, driving to check out some fantastic new turf, is Superintendent of Glenelg Golf Club, Tim Warren. G'day, Tim.
Yeah, g'day, Steve. How are you, mate?
Very good, mate. Thanks for joining us. And you are on the road looking at some of your grass that you've got growing. Is that right?
Yes, on the way down to Langhorne Creek, which is around about an hour east of Adelaide. And we're growing some bent grass there, our bent grass nursery down there on consignment. We lease a plot of ground down there off Borman's turf. We've got about probably shade under 3,000 square metres down there. So this is a part of it. I just, every now and then I've got to go down there and cast my eye over it and see how it's all tracking.
There you go, mate. Very good. And it's a Friday afternoon, mate. Geez, not the best day of the week to be doing it.
Oh, no, there's an ulterior motive there because just around the corner there's a little craft brewery that I call into and I get the supplies for the weekend.
Are you gonna share that one out to the country? Do we need to know what this craft brewery's called? I don't do free plugs, but I'll do it.
Yeah, it's called Little Pete's, and they do a very nice lager called SA Draft, and so I sort of time my visits on a Friday afternoon.
Perfect. Makes perfect sense to me, mate, and I'm sure to many others listening. Now, mate, the reason I'm chatting with you is we're looking for a bit of an update. I got to see Glenelg when we got down there when I was checking out Live, and I dropped into Glenelg and saw golf course architect Ryan van der Veen showing me some of the new work that's being built on holes 8 and 9 and how it's all coming along, mate. Now you've turfed up a lot of those areas. We've got grass down. How's it all going in those parts that have been finished up?
Yeah, so we are probably what you'd say in a bit of a growing phase. We've got a little bit of minor turf work to do on some irrigation laterals, and where we're joining up some fairways where we've had golfers going through as, I would suppose, an alternate route to the next hole to walk through that construction area. So it's quite beaten up, that area. So we're going to have to do some turf replacement through there. But all in all, we're very much into that growing stage, and we're in the sort of the final stages of irrigation installation through there. So as I drove out the gate this afternoon, Dan, our irrigation tech, I think he's maybe on his second last lateral on the 8th fairway, which is the last one that he's got to complete, and then he'll be looking at doing the tee irrigation, the 8th tee irrigation, and some little bit of micro spray, minor irrigation works around our pavilion, or what you sort of colloquially term our new halfway house here. You would have seen when you were visiting with Ryan. It's quite an impressive little building that we've got there. So we've just got to do some minor sort of irrigation and landscape works around there. So we're well and truly into the growing stage. Greens, they've bedded down. I mean, we could be playing on them now. They've had a good couple of months since they've been turfed, and really happy how they've come up. Considering too how dry a summer that we've had and the water quality issues that we've been going through, I'm really happy how those greens have been settled in.
Mate, it's fantastic to hear, and you're right, that pavilion is a fantastic little building that you've got there. Very, very well done and finished off very nicely. And, mate, I'm curious, there you touched on a little bit the water quality. What's been happening with you guys there on site? Because the southern half of Australia, put a line through the halfway point in the country, and anywhere south of that is getting next to no rain, and anywhere north is getting a great deal. It's quite a stark contrast this year.
It is, and it's... Oh, look, we're not alone. I mean, there's a lot of golf clubs within the Adelaide region, the Adelaide Hills, and even in metro areas that we're either struggling with water quality or quantity. There's a lot of clubs down south in the hills that are almost out of water.
Wow.
And having to buy mains, which is unfortunate for those smaller clubs.
Yeah.
For us, I mean, we went through last winter where we didn't do any injection through our ASR system.
Yep.
We cleaned out, there was a part of the works that we did with holes 15, 16, 17, those holes encompass our wetland system with the ASR.
Okay.
And even if we didn't, sometimes talking to people, I mean, even if we didn't clean out those wetlands, there was no water running down Brown Hill Creek, which runs alongside the airport where we pump out of. We didn't have any water to inject anyhow. So we're basically into our native groundwater reserves.
Right.
And so we're dealing with some fairly elevated levels of sodium, pH. Bicarbonates is a big killer for us, and chloride. So,
and that can knock around bent grass, especially young bent grass, very, very well, can't it, sometimes?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've got 10 of the new greens. I mean, most of the new greens have had some sort of scarring or damage, either through stress, through that water quality issues, just dropping out through salinity, or I've had a hell of an issues with disease because of the stress that the bent grass has been under all summer. And we've had a couple little hot spells too that haven't helped the cause as well. So, yeah, we've done a lot of turf replacement, and we're probably waiting for a bit more of a break in the weather so we can do a little bit more turf replacement. So that's another reason why I'm going down to Langhorne Creek now to see how developed this nursery is, that we may have to draw on some reserves of turf that we have growing back at Glenelg to do some recovery in winter.
Okay.
So we can get some coverage. It's been pretty ordinary, really. So, yeah.
Challenging times indeed, mate. There you go. It's not all ribbons and rainbows building a new golf course, mate. Who would have known?
No. I mean, that's the thing that's so unique about our project. Like you've seen other I suppose, developments around the country with Huntingdale going through their reconstruction. And
even Royal Sydney here in Sydney. And
man, Adams, had the luxury, I know it's a big job, it's had the luxury of closing the course. And, I mean, we've had to keep 18 or thereabouts holes open for our members for the whole project. And look, it's challenging at times, both with weather, but also managing the I suppose the optics of it all, because I think too the membership are probably starting to get a little bit of construction fatigue. I suppose it's a little bit of impatience, and you've got to keep managing that message to say, look, we're not too far away from nailing this. I mean, we're only after these 2 holes, we only got 3 to go, and we're hoping by the end of this year we'll have them done. So the light at the end of the tunnel is getting bigger. I don't know whether it's the end of the tunnel or it could be the train coming towards us, but we're getting close. We're getting close to the finish line.
And you mentioned that construction fatigue because it does take a lot of patience from a membership at any club at any level to go through a significant rebuild. You guys are rebuilding the whole golf course essentially, and we touched on that from Royal Sydney where they closed down their golf course. You guys have remained open, and either way, it's still a lot of patience from your membership, isn't it?
Oh, look, to their credit, I mean, the committee and the membership have been incredibly supportive of what we've been doing, and I mean, it's part of the initiative that Rob, our general manager, has introduced is that I regularly play golf with members. They can put their name down. I had to play golf yesterday with a couple of members, and it's great that you're getting. I haven't had too much negative feedback, which is surprising, because I know if I was a member, I'd be starting to get a little bit wearisome of it. But no, for the majority, they've been great in terms of the supporting the whole process. I think too, because they can see the results as we go, and especially the stark contrast between our old greens, our old putting surfaces, and our new putting surfaces. They just can't wait to have 18 holes where they're playing on these pure bent grass surfaces that we're delivering with the development.
Mate, it's fantastic to get down there and see it. And look, I can speak for what I've seen when Ryan took me around the course. I've seen a lot more of it now that I've had 2 visits, once with yourself and a second time now with Ryan, albeit a couple of years apart. But it's what is being delivered. You talked about it, and I'm going to say it's certainly from an outsider's perspective is nothing short of incredible. And I really cannot wait till the day, much like your membership, when it's all done on those 18 holes of golf, that the new design is done in full and people are allowed to experience it, i.e. your membership first and foremost. But you guys have something really special on your hands that when it's fully opened and finished and you can really start bringing in, the members can start bringing in some guests and being really proud of what they've got and certainly what you guys have achieved on course. You've got something special coming and it's in bits and pieces that the membership are seeing it, but they're getting close to seeing all the pieces of the puzzle in place, aren't they?
Oh, definitely, without a doubt. I mean, I think early days, that was the one thing that you're always fearful of is how patient our membership were going to be. And because, we didn't have the luxury of knocking it out in 2-3 years' time. We started in the summer of, 2021, just before COVID, but we hit SA.
Yep.
And it's been that process ever since, just rolling through hole by hole. And then we took I think the bowl move to knock over three holes at once last winter. And then for the whole winter, the membership were playing 16 holes. And I thought, how well would that go down? But they said, no, if it's in the best interest of getting the project done in that time frame, we'll go for it. So.
No.
Yeah, no, we've it's been fantastic, the support of the membership and committee.
Very, very interesting, mate. And look, you've got a little bit left, so 8 and 9's just about finished, and there's some fantastic features in there with the sleepers or the railroad ties up on the bank. So is it the 9th green there?
Yeah, 9th green. So the water hazard that sort of borders the front of the 8th tee and the 9th green comes back, and meets pretty tight. It's a pretty tight area, and I think what Ryan and Neil have done in terms of providing a solution and separation with a feature as you drive into the golf club, I think it's one thing that people will remember, and it's one thing that I think it's been seen as sometimes we see it as a disadvantage having the clubhouse in the middle of the golf course, because it does take up probably some of the best land on it. But then too, it's such a great feature when you drive in, you get a sense of what's lying ahead when you just can't wait to get into the car park, kick to the pro shop after the first tee and start playing it. So, I mean, it's a bit like Royal Adelaide when you drive in through the gates at Royal Adelaide. You get a bit of a sense of what you're going to encounter over the next 18 holes.
Oh, you really do, and it's not something that's very common. Like you say, you take up a bit of real estate with the clubhouse being in the middle, and certainly the driveway, navigating the golf course to get there. Royal Adelaide does it so well, but you guys do as well, and that's a really impressive feature. Mate, once these couple of holes are opened and in play, what's the final remaining parts for Glenelg Golf Club to finish off as part of this overall golf course rebuild?
Yeah, so we still got holes 6, 7 and 1 to go, and then the practice area. So the club still probably hasn't really determined what it's going to do exactly with the practice areas around the clubhouse and that sort of thing, because we're going through an infrastructure master plan. We're looking at the clubhouse. We're looking at maintenance facilities, future maintenance facility, because our maintenance facility has been on its site since the mid-60s, and it's tucked in behind the clubhouse. It's fairly unique that we're almost like a garden shed out the back of the clubhouse.
You are staggered over some different levels and wedged in between bits and pieces, mate. It's I was impressed with how tight that was squeezed in.
Oh, yeah, it's just the add-ons and shipping containers and all sorts. So it's very much got a temporary feel, but that temporary feel has been going on since the mid-60s. So look, we'll be going into holes 6, 7 and 1, and at this stage, it's at committee level. Ryan's proposed a staged approach and for those 3 holes to be constructed. We'll probably look at maybe shortening the 7th first up and making it as a temporary par 3 and doing some mounding work. We're looking at shifting or carting all the silt and vegetation that we excavated out of the wetlands there, and we stored on site. It's been drying. I mean, that's the positive about it being so dry here weather-wise, that we've dried out all that silt and rubbish that we pulled out of the wetlands, and we're going to build up a big screening mound in between the driveway and the 7th just to add a bit of protection to that pavilion as you drive in. Yep. Then we'll cap that with sand and vegetate that with some pine trees. So we can do that in stages, and then there's quite a significant amount of earth to shift around the 6 green 7th tee complex. 6 green will be shortened. The hole will be shortened as it is played at the moment. The green will be sort of, go 30 metres, maybe 30 metres down the fairway, and then we're creating some more space, and that's what we're looking for at Glenelg, is more space in between and transitions from green to tee for traffic, the cope with the traffic that we have. And then the tee complex we're done, and then I think we're looking at going over to the first. So we're looking at maybe a start of around early June, mid-June, somewhere around there for that mounding work, and then into July we'll start some work, and then hopefully, we'll be looking at laying some greens around the August mark, I'd say. So we give the greens enough time to sort of bed in before we look at trying to have an opening date for those 3 holes at around, I suppose, into November, sort of similar about times when we opened up last year, when we opened up 15, 16 and 17. So that's where we're at with our stages,
Mate, it's very exciting to consider, certainly for the membership. Like you said, the light is peaking around the corner for them, and they're starting to see that towards the end of the year, all things being equal, of course, that hopefully they'll have a finished golf course that's been redesigned in incredibly fun and exciting manner. And the architecture and the design work that's been built into that golf course, along with the surfaces and adjusting of the holes, is just really incredible. And that's the part that stands out to me the most, mate. You and your team that you lead there have been doing an incredible job and smashing out some work. And it's going to lay down the to an opening of a golf course that, along with, as we've touched on, the Huntingdales of the world that's happening and the Royal Sydneys that are open and Royal Perths that are being redone. But it's one of the courses that stands out. It's going to stand out to be a great golf course that's going to be redone and opened up. So really exciting times, Tim, and I really appreciate you jumping on and letting us know a little bit more of the details of how it's all going.
No worries at all. Anytime, Steve. I mean, I just want to touch on too the team this summer. It's been a challenging summer, probably one of the most challenging ones I've had for a long time in my career, and with the support of the team and especially Adam Fry, who come on as our assistant. He come over from Kionga and bringing his wealth of experience along with him. He's been a really godsend for me in terms of support, and all the staff have been fantastic through the summer to produce the quality. And I think holes 8 and 9 are probably some of the best quality that we've produced since we started. It's been really satisfying to see these guys actually produce what they've produced.
No, mate, it's like I said, from the outside, it's incredibly exciting, and well done to everyone involved in yourself and your team and the club support and the membership support, mate. It's very, very impressive and incredibly exciting. So thank you again, Tim, and well done.
No worries at all, Steve. Thanks, Mum.
Now, following South Australia, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go west. We're going into Western Australia, and we're going to start off with a thanks to President of the Golf Course Superintendents Association of Western Australia. That is Shane Baker, who I recently obviously had on the podcast and Keeper of the Greens. Now, Shane was giving me information about the recently held annual awards evening for the Western Australian Association. And here are the results that I wanted to share with you of some of the winners relating to golf. We start off with, if you haven't heard the podcast with Shane and myself, I'll let you know what some of those details are once again here. And that is the Course Apprentice of the Year. And now that was taken out by James Courtney Bennett, who is working at Lake Carrinyup Golf Club there under Superintendent Fraser Brown. James took out the Golf Course Apprentice of the Year. And we go over to Course Superintendent of the Year, and that was won by Des Russell at Cottesloe Golf Club in Perth, a fantastic golf course there at Cottesloe. The Regional Golf Course of the Year went to Kalgoorlie Golf Course, and a fantastic facility that it is at Kalgoorlie. And the Metropolitan Golf Course of the Year went to Lake Carrinyup Country Club. So congratulations to all the winners as part of the Golf Course Superintendents Association of Western Australia. Well done to all involved. Now we go to a golf course that I've not mentioned here before, and that's Dunsborough Lakes Golf Club. And they're located to the west of Busselton, south of Perth. And they've recently upgraded their fairway mower to a new machine, a brand new machine. This is a sensational improvement to their course machinery, and I, for one, can't begin to tell you how good it feels to have a reliable new fairway mower in your shed. Now, it's great to see here at Dunsborough Lakes that they are improving their machinery, and it's a great, worthwhile investment as golf courses continue to want to deliver better quality of turf surfaces. So great stuff to see. Now, speaking of Dunsborough Lakes, golf course architect Ben Davey from Contour Golf has recently been over in that neck of the woods and was doing some work with the golf club there at Dunsborough Lakes. He was master planning with the club and detailing some of their future works, which is great to see there. Ben also was at Pinjarra Golf Club, which is about an hour straight south, directly south of Perth. And he was also doing some master planning there with the club and looking at some future works to go on course there as well. So a couple of golf courses there that are looking into planning out their future works and how to improve their golf courses, which is fantastic to see. A couple that we don't talk about too much in WA, and obviously people that I like to share when I hear some information about. Now, from WA, we're going to go all the way back over to Queensland. Now, you might recall my chat on the podcast last month with Dave Mason from Gen 1 Sports Turf, who was in far southwestern Queensland at the small township of Thargomindah, where he had begun to rebuild their decaying 9-hole golf course with the Boondah Shire Council. Well, that was right up to when the heavy rain and floods came pouring down in that region. And I just literally spoke to Dave back then. It was just as that was happening, just before it happened. Well, it's been over a month on from the rain and since the Walking the Fairways segment with Dave. And Dave's got in touch with me and sent me a couple of photos that he's received from some of the locals out at Thargomindah. Complete devastation in that region is the only way to describe it. Now, you kind of have to put the golf course to one side. The work Dave had done to the course has largely been destroyed, but it's the region, the people, and their livelihoods that have been absolutely hammered the most. And that's the most devastating part of it. As Dave said to me, the townspeople are getting stuck into the road to recovery, and no doubt it will be a long road, and that's all they can do out there. They've got to pick themselves up and get going. And it's a very, very difficult thing to do when you've been through something that devastating. And we've had that in a number of places around the country over the last few years, and for this part in a regional, very, very remote region of the country, it can be that much harder because it's harder for people to give help. It's not like they've got a mass of people that can all help each other out. They're very, very isolated communities. Now, no doubt, sadly and frustratingly, that region may well be forgotten before too long by all of us city folk, and we probably won't hear about it again, even on the news, to keep reminding us that they need our help. They'll all be doing it tough out there for a long time to come yet, and I just hope they get the support from both the Queensland government and the federal government that they will need to rebuild roads and infrastructure, etc. I mean, you take out roads in that region, and it cuts out so much. I mean, that's how they receive a lot of their supplies, a lot of things that help them going, to keep them going. And access to things as well is by road. They're used to driving long distance, and you take out roads and it's all of a sudden completely isolated, not just by distance, but by every means possible. Those sorts of things, roads and infrastructure, can take years to rebuild, and it's going to be a long road, like I mentioned. Now, you've only got to ask some of those in northern New South Wales that are still repairing from the floods 3 years ago. Roads, I know roads in areas that still haven't been repaired in northern New South Wales and western New South Wales from the floods from 3 years ago. I mean, it's a really difficult time ahead, and it doesn't happen in months. It's not measured in weeks or months. It's measured in years. So our thoughts go out to everyone in southwestern Queensland that are doing it tough. I'm not sure if anyone in that region will listen to the podcast, but we are thinking of you and certainly wish you all very, very well in the future. And when I hear from Dave Mason in the future, I'll let you know how that project is going and the region around Thargomindah is going, because he's going to be heading out there, I think, in a few more months, all things being equal, to assess things and see how it's all going and start putting a plan of things together to how they can get back on track with that project. But I thought I'd give you that little update from that part of Queensland. Now, of course, we head to New South Wales next, and I want to start off with the 9-hole golf course at Palm Beach here in Sydney on the Northern Beaches, not far from where I live, actually. They've recently upgraded some of their machinery that maintain the golf course, an obvious improvement to the maintenance of the course, and a welcome improvement to Palmy as it's known locally. An upgrade of machinery, ladies and gentlemen, is something that I like to talk about, because this is what is a core part of delivering a golf course to you. So I know a lot of golf courses struggle and a lot of clubs struggle to make that investment. And there's different ways these days in modern finance to be able to gain access to getting machines. It's through leases and different types of loan facilities. But here at Palm Beach, it's a 9-holer. It's in a beautiful piece of ground, and they've upgraded a couple of pieces of their machinery, which is great to see. Strathfield Golf Club in Sydney, and they've been doing some extensive drainage works to their fairways on the golf course. And I'm talking extensive. Over 25 kilometres of subsurface drainage has been completed over recent months to the eastern side of their course, which is set to improve their playability after lots of wet weather. Clearly a timely project with all the consistent rain that's been falling on the eastern seaboard of New South Wales. And these are the sorts of other investments that golf courses I see are doing from time to time. It's good to tick over drainage projects where you can and when you can. Not always easy to be able to do ones of this scale. Like I mentioned there, 25 kilometres of subsurface drainage. But you'll see over the coming cooler months, when golf clubs and teams on course get a chance to do less cutting, they'll start to be doing what we call more winter projects. And these are the things like repairing drainage and redoing drainage in areas that might not have it at all as well. which is great, ready for the summer ahead in New South Wales because that's when we tend to get most of our rainfall. Now, golf course architects of Harley Cruz and Mike Clayton is from CDP, as we know, Clayton DeVries Pont. Now, they've actually been working together on a project here in Sydney on the Northern Beaches at Elanora Country Club. And they've been doing some vegetation management and work on the course with the club. And it's a stark improvement to their 9th hole where they've done some work. They've removed some large trees that were overgrowing and shooting into the whole corridor from the left-hand side on a sort of a corner of the 9th hole that they have there. It's the trees were blocking the view to the green from further back up the fairway. And now that the tree's gone, the hole is incredibly better for it. And it's almost really hard to wrap your head around how something that seems so simple, not always easy to identify, and that's what golf course architects do so well because they're experts in understanding these types of things. But when you see the stark contrast from trees to no trees, you almost sit there and go, how did no one notice? Harley and I talk a lot, and we talk about vegetation and how I call it a slow-moving problem because it's just inch by inch every year, and before you know it, after 10 years, after 15 years, you've got something that's almost completely in front of you, but you haven't noticed. As a club member, you haven't noticed. So a great improvement in this particular hole, the 9th at Elanora, and like I mentioned, now the tree's gone, it's so much better for it. It offers not only improved views, of course, but it's the options of shot making to get to the green for all different levels of players, and also the little bit of fear factor that it enters the players' minds with a little hollow that's there from where the trees were growing up out of. So all sorts of different things come into your mind as a player. It's such a simple yet incredibly effective improvement to the golf course at Elanora on the 9th. Now we go down to Victoria, ladies and gentlemen, and we go to Wood End Golf Club in Victoria, to the northwest of Melbourne itself. They've been doing some concreting of some pathways around the course to improve safety and maintenance. They were some loose surface paths that tend to get a bit of wash and a bit of wear and that sort of stuff. So they've gone with a bit of concreting here, and these improvements have been done on some of the steeper sections of paths, which they do have at Wood End. And all done with a great deal of volunteer help from the club's members. It's great stuff to see there at Wood End. And these are the sorts of improvements that smaller regional clubs can do from time to time with a hell of a lot of volunteer help. And that's what's happening at Wood End. Now, Wood End have also been doing a lot of woody weed management on course, thanks to one of the club's sponsors. This type of work itself is a huge help to smaller regional clubs as well when they can get this type of help. And it's not something that any of the people looking after the golf course for normal golf maintenance, turf maintenance as it were, they don't often have the time when you've got only one or two people looking after a golf course. They don't get a lot of time to start to attack and manage some of these larger woody weeds that come in. So it's fantastic to see from the supporters of the club at Wood End getting stuck into some of these larger woody weed problems that are around there, and they're managing them now and getting on top of them, which is fantastic to see. Great stuff at Wood End. We go to Medway Golf Club in Victoria, and that's in Melbourne's northwestern suburbs. And they've recently seen an overhaul of their 13th and 17th tees. They've been re-levelled and re-turfed. Always a good improvement on golf courses to re-level tees. Golfers out there might not realise, but with regular top dressing of tees, after they've been chopped up for years, they can sometimes grow sort of little humps and uneven levels on the areas of high play over the years. And after a while, it becomes noticeable. You players out there might not notice it so much, but the greenkeepers that are on them daily will start to see them after a couple of years' time when things start to show significant signs to the eyes of the trained greenkeepers. And if it's been sort of 10 years plus, you'll start to see some, we call them speed humps. In a way, it can be through poor management as well, but it's often through those higher areas that need a lot of love and care because they keep getting hacked up. Particularly happens on par 3s as well. But the 13th and 17th tees here at Medway have been done and they've been re-levelled. And usually when they're getting re-levelled, in doing so, the clubs often take a little bit of extra license to increase the size of the tees along the way, which allows for greater movement of the tee markers and subsequent playing areas, which is one of the things we often see. So Medway doing a little bit of work on a couple of tees there on course. Now we go to Box Hill Golf Club in Melbourne's eastern suburbs, and they've recently completed rebuilding works to their 9th tee. It's a lot of work on this little project here for the 9th, and they've got a new retaining wall, they've got new path, and of course the new turf on the tee surface itself. And there'll be new irrigation involved as well. It looks fantastic. It's a great little design that they've got there. Nice little path leading up to the tee surface itself. Nice big rocks, big natural stone work that they've used at the back of the tee as well. So it's a bit of a picture, I've got to say. And there's a beautiful gum tree down the front left of the tee that they've had to they've kept that in the teeing, in the overall tee design. And they've worked with that tree as a bit of a feature there. So that's a nice touch as well. And I don't know the golf course at all, so I'm not sure how that works, but it looks nice how it's been designed into the tee works that they've done on the 9th there at Box Hill. So well done to all involved as they do some improvements to Box Hill. Now we go to the fantastic Metropolitan Golf Club and Melbourne Sandbelt, the famed Sandbelt and the famed Metro. The new redesign works to the 13th hole by golf course architects Craft and Mogford Golf Strategies. They have now been completed. Turf went down towards the end of March on the green and surrounds, and that means now that the entire course enhancement works program has been completed for the whole golf course. It's all done. It's taken them a couple of years to move through this project, and there's been a lot of work completed. A big hats off and congratulations to Superintendent John Mann and the entire greenkeeping team for an amazing effort with the rebuilding of the greens at Metro. It's going to be amazing to see Metro mature now that this fantastic and epic course enhancement program has been completed. It's a credit to everyone involved, and Metro is... Look, it's a revered golf course in Australia. There's no two ways about it. It's one of the highest regarded golf courses in the country, and there is an incredible amount of history there. It is absolutely a fascinating facility and one of the best in the nation. Now, thinking about that and knowing where things are at, that this project has finally been completed, it might be time for me to ask John Mann if he wants to come back on the pod for a bit of a chat about the work now that's all been done and dusted, and he might be able to sort of give us a bit of an insight just to the scale of things that have gone on there. I might see if I can catch up with John and see if I can coax him back onto the pod for a Walking the Fairways update on how things are going at Metropolitan Golf Club. If you're not sure, John Mann was on Keeper of the Greens a couple of years ago now, and a fantastic guest. He's actually the number one now listened podcast episode I've got, and lots of people love to hear an insight into Metro. And like I mentioned, it's an incredible facility, and I think it'll be lovely to have John back on and give everyone a bit of an update from the inside at Metropolitan Golf Club in Victoria. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we finish off the podcast episode. You might recall, we're going overseas. You might recall I had on Keeper of the Green segment not so long ago, Josh Smith from Piltdown Golf Club in the UK. Josh mentioned that he was just about to leave to go and work at TPC Sawgrass for the Players' Championship, where he was going to be on course as a volunteer, helping and being part of the team preparing the course for the tournament. So I thought it time to get Josh back on the pod and tell us a bit about what he went through and working at Sawgrass and just what it was like to be out there walking the fairways during tournament week. We go right around to the other side of the world into the UK to someone that I've had on the past for Keeper of the Greens not so long ago. In fact, it is Josh Smith, Greenkeeper at Piltdown Golf Club in the UK. G'day, Josh. How you doing, mate?
Hey, Steve. Good, thanks. How are you?
Not too bad, mate. Now, we are talking AMs and PMs here, and I've only just sort of put myself together, and you're ready to pack it down. Mate, thank you for joining us on the pod. And this is a bit of a catch-up post your work at TPC Sawgrass. What was that? Was that 6 weeks ago, 5 weeks?
Yeah, so it was early to middle of March now.
There you go. Well, even further away. How time flies, as they say.
Yeah, no, crazy.
Mate, great to have you back on, and we're doing this little one via video, and so for the benefit of those that can't see, normally we're just audio. You're decked out in all of your players' gear from head to foot, shirts, jumpers, hats, and is there a flag there I can see in the background?
Yeah, players' flag.
Yeah, of course there is.
I was out there.
Of course there is. Now, mate, this is a quick update just to hear a bit of what it's like on the inside of the TPC Sawgrass for the Players' Championship. What was it like, mate? Tell us a bit of how it was. We spoke to you and you were just about to head off, but what was it like now? You've done it, you've been there, you've gone through the whole thing, prepping for the tournament, looking after it during the tournament, walking those fairways out there while the players are out, and you're watching it up close and personal, mate. Tell us a bit about your experience.
Yeah, so like I said, the whole experience is nothing short of amazing. Just such a surreal feeling being able to go out there, work the tournament, spend time walking the fairways every morning, and just kind of soak it in and just enjoy it for what it was.
Yeah, that's incredible. What was it like that first morning? You know, that Thursday of a tournament, it's game on, because you were there for the week, weren't you? You were there prior to the couple of days before. They had pro-ams and stuff on before it.
Yeah, so I got there, when was it? Landed on the Friday evening night before tournament week, and then started work on the Monday morning, and yeah, come Thursday for tournament. So there was a lot of prep that went into the tournament, obviously weeks and months before I got there in advance, and then the first few days I was there, it was pretty full on, just doing the last few preparations, and then come tournament, it was nice to see everything kind of just like fit into place, and everything was just ready to go for the tournament.
So what sort of things do you do the couple of days before? What's that look like?
Yeah, so leading up to tournament, but in the practice days, it was just like normal maintenance. So going out every day, doing all the cutting, bunker work, just your normal day-to-day maintenance, and then doing like detail work as well. It's like things like hand cutting rough, bunker work, like detail trimming, just for preparations before tournament starts. So just the golf course is in as good shape as it can be.
So that's like, and you talk about hand cutting rough. I mean, that just sounds bizarre for already. But is that like a little walk behind?
Yeah, so it was on the Wednesday before the tournament. We had 40 people across the whole day hand cut rough. So it's 20 per 9. So, yeah.
Are these little rotary mowers or real mowers? What are they using?
Yeah, pedestrian rotary mowers.
Okay. So a better version of what we would use here in our backyards, and but they're looking after the rough of sawgrass. So you're hand cutting rough, which is just weird and wonderful, and detail the bunkers. That's just prepping sand surface, final shapes, movements of sand around, just making sure it looks nice and tidy, no impurities, nothing out of place.
Yeah, exactly that. And then the other thing as well, leading up to it, the first couple of days I was there, we had a storm pass through on the Sunday, Monday. So it had quite a lot of rain with that. And then that meant also a lot of like debris clearing and bunker work, just tidying up a few things.
Yep, washouts and bits
of stuff.
Once
that was out of the way, yeah, not too many washouts, but like I said, just like mainly just doing like leaf blowing and just like detailed jobs to tidy up after the storm we had.
Yeah, okay. All right. So the detail gets done to every little nth degree, and then it's, like I said, it's morning of the tournament on the Thursday. What's it like? What's the feeling by the team?
Yeah, I think so. Once that kind of first few days out of the way, everyone's like ready to go and just kind of wants to get out first morning out the way, and everyone's quite like excited to just get out there and do your first morning setup for tournament for round one.
No headaches. Nothing went wrong.
No, it was. So I've worked a few tournaments now, and it's definitely one of, if not the most like smoothest operations I've seen on a golf course. Especially the amount of staff, it was just like clockwork. Everyone knew what they were doing, and as I said, from the volunteers to the home staff to all the managers involved, it just ran so seamlessly.
So, what were you specifically doing on that Thursday morning? What they have you doing?
So my task of the week was working with the debris clearing team using billy goat vacuums.
Yep.
To pick up all the loose debris. So, like, if there was too much for them to blow to the side or out of the way, me and another volunteer would come along and just pick it up with the vacuums.
Yep.
And then go from there.
And so, do you get assigned a certain part of the course, like X amount of holes, or is it you're roaming the whole thing?
So yeah, it was the team was split up into front nine, back nine.
Yep.
So I was fortunate enough to be on the back nine for the whole week.
Okay. And a couple of yous doing the vacuum clearing. How big is the overall size of the team?
So we had about 100 home staff, and there was about 90 volunteers.
100 home staff?
Yeah, about that.
Wow. So nearly 200 staff looking after the course.
Yeah, thereabouts. And so they obviously had the two courses. So you had the stadium and the valley course. Obviously, the valley course is the second course there, and probably had maybe about, I don't know, 20, 25 people on that across the week, just maintaining it every day and every evening. And then everyone else on the stadium course.
Wow. Big moving machine, like a coordinated orchestra of people out there doing their bits. You sent me a couple of photos of you blowing things around off some of the greens there on, what was it, the famous 17th green, I think was in the background on one of them. You were standing on 16.
Yeah, so that was on the Saturday morning, I believe. But just blowing off the tee after they cut it.
Yeah, right, okay. Just casually taking a sunrise photo.
Yeah, as you do.
as you do. Time to sneak that in. What was the feeling like, mate? Was there a bit of? Did it feel comfortable? Was there a bit of pressure? You've done a few tournaments now. Did this one feel different to any of the others that you've been to? You mentioned the PGA and the DP World Tour. You've done JCB, Live. Now you've ticked off Sawgrass, mate. It's quite the list you've got going.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was definitely a little bit of pressure just because of the scale of the PGA Tour event that is the players at TPC Sawgrass. But it's, I say, you almost like you kind of use that pressure as a privilege and just enjoy it for what it is.
Yep. It certainly gives you a bit of a buzz and keeps you going, no doubt. What did you see players-wise, mate? Did you get to get up close and personal with any of the players you get to watch a bit? Or were you just resting in between your shifts?
Yeah, both really. So, like, some of the days, like, you might have a few hours of rest in between, and then a lot of the guys, including myself, would go and watch the golf, like, during our downtime, which was quite a nice perk to have.
Yeah, cool. First world bonuses.
Yeah. But got up close to see all the big names, so your McIlroys, your Schefflers, Tommy Fleetwoods, like Xander Schauffele's, Adam Scott's, like Justin Thomas's, like all the big guys.
Well, they're all there on the one stage, right? That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was 48 of the top 50 golfers in the world were there that week.
Yeah, nice. That's a pretty impressive event, as we know. That's the whole point of the players. Mate, what's it like seeing some of those famous locations around the golf course that I just mentioned that you were standing there on with a 17th green in the background of your shot. You were doing some work around the course, obviously in all sorts of different places, but walking out there and being on site at some of the most iconic parts in world golf, what's that feeling like to walk away from and know you've done it?
Yeah, it's probably quite a surreal feeling, I'd say, just being able to have the opportunity and the experience of, especially in my situation, of working the backline for the whole week. So every morning you get to see, walk up 16, see 16, 17, go to 18. It's just so iconic seeing that every morning. And so it's quite a cool feeling that you walk in the fairway and obviously you're doing your work, prepping for the tournament. And then as the morning goes by, you see all the spectators starting to walk in and all the galleries are starting to fill up slowly, and then just kind of being able to stand on the fairway or the green or the tee or wherever it may be like I said, it just felt so surreal. Yeah, it was just incredible feeling to be there.
Did you get any signatures or anything? Do you get to do that afterwards? Do you get access? Do you get access to the players at the end of the event or at the start of the event or anything like that?
Yeah, so like a few of the guys were getting signatures and photos. So managed to get a couple photos, but nothing too much really, just because it was quite busy during the practice days and whatnot.
Sure. Now tell us, if you can, mate, if you don't mind, I know you sent me a photo of some of the gear you get. What sort of things do you get decked out in, just ready for the week ahead?
Yeah, so the like clothing side of it was like pretty cool because we got loads of polo shirts, hoodies, jackets, waterproof, hat, bag, and then like some custom boots for the week.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. And this is some of the stuff you got on now?
Yeah, so obviously got the hat on from the week, and then I got flag from the fan shop I bought whilst I was out there. So yeah.
Oh, you didn't steal one of the flags from one of the holes?
No.
I was expecting you to say at the end of the round you raced across the 17th green and grabbed the flag.
No, they all get taken in pretty quickly.
Very good, mate. You got to give a shout out to who leads the team. Who do you work under there as leading the team prepping for the tournament?
Yeah, so you've got Jeff Blotz over there, and then Lucas Andrews are the two top guys over there.
Yep.
So yeah, I can't thank them both enough for the opportunity and the experience to go and work the Players' Championship.
I'm sure they don't listen to this podcast, but that's okay. In the event that someone does, they can pass that on. I'm sure they're two very busy guys, but there you go. Did you catch up? What sort of people from around the world were joining the crew? Was there many internationals?
Yeah, we had quite a few. So, like I say, a lot of the guys from the UK, other guys and girls from over Europe, and then we had one guy from Australia, and then two guys from New Zealand.
So we've got a few representatives from right down here in Australia and New Zealand. Do you give a shit? Do you know their names?
Tim Leet from Rich River.
Hey, yeah, cool. Down in the Murray.
Yeah, and then Caleb Morgan and Ryan Adams, I believe his surname is, from Clearwater in New Zealand.
Nice work. Shout out to those boys. Sensational.
Yeah, I spent the whole week working with Caleb. So, yeah, really nice guy. And like I said, everyone out there was just, like I said, really great to work with for the week.
Is there anything that stood out on course, and this is something I'm probably a little bit curious about, that was kind of done differently or was different to anything you've seen in a tournament prep, or is it very similar? I mean, I know it's different site, but I mean, is there anything that stood out there that you go, wow, okay, these guys do this differently and I haven't seen that before?
Yeah, so I think a lot of it is just like all the attention to detail and like the strive for perfection with everything, like day to day. It's like every day we were out there, it was just the expectation is like just as good as it can be, and everyone's on that same page, just striving for that like attention to detail to make it the highest standard of presentation we possibly can. Yeah,
okay. It's probably I suppose it's a given in a sense that because it's so closely watched on television, shy of, probably on par with an Augusta or something like that, I would imagine it'd be pretty close, certainly in the States, but even around the world. Like I mentioned, it's such iconic locations and an iconic golf course that gets played every year in the same place. So it's probably the only other place that you could say is like Augusta in that regard. And so because of that, we're watching it on TV or every year, we're going to notice things. People are going to notice things. Galleries are going to notice things that are different or slightly adjusted. So, but certainly great to hear about your experience there, mate. Is there anything that you take away from this particular trip? I know you notched up another impressive tournament, but is there anything you take away, and are you thinking of going somewhere next?
Yeah, so the main things I think I take away is, like I said before, is the the attention to detail and the high standards that you gain from working these tournaments and what you see from working with the home staff and the other volunteers. But then on top of this, it's all the networking you do whilst you're there with other greenkeepers and like making the connections whilst you're out there to potentially work more tournaments out in America.
Is there anywhere you're thinking of next?
I think the next tournament I'd like to do is like a major championship or a Ryder Cup, potentially.
Oh, Ryder
Or
Cup.
the President's Cup.
Yeah, Ryder or President's. Yeah, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the next sort of step up or equivalent tournament to the Players' Championship.
Wow, very impressive, mate. Josh, look, it's great to have you on as a bit of an update. Sounds like an incredible experience for yourself. Another one, like I keep saying, you've notched up another impressive tournament, but also to have those bits and pieces to come away from the players. You've been there, you've been involved. It's always something that you'll be part of, that you've got now as a memory and something that you've got on your CV that you've done. But little mementos, mate, you take away a couple of bits of gear and flag and memories and photos. Impressive trip.
Yeah.
Was it just the week?
Yeah, so it was out there for 12 days in the end.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, just over a week.
Impressive. Mate, great to have you on, Josh. I really appreciate you jumping on. It's late over there and it's early here that happens, and I think we're both probably a little bit worse for wear getting this sorted, mate. I really do appreciate you jumping on and letting us know a little bit of the detail of what it's like to work over at such an interesting, impressive and very prestigious tournament that is the TPC at Sawgrass, the Players' Championship. Mate, certainly wish you well in where you turn next. You'll have to send me some photos so I can share them around now that you've been and done the tournament. It's great to be able to show some people who have been listening just what it's like in some of those iconic places, mate. I really appreciate you sharing it and letting us know what it was like.
No worries. Thanks, Steve. It's been great to catch up.
Indeed. Thanks for coming on the pod, mate.
Thank you.
And one final update, ladies and gentlemen, I will give to you, and that is Nigel Taylor, who is doing the Everesting challenge of cycling one Everest climb per month for the year of 2025. He has not so long ago completed the climb for April. He was successful in his climb at April, and please go over there, ladies and gentlemen, and follow him on social media and everything that he's doing to raise awareness. At the end of the day, this is all about raising awareness for mental health. And Nigel is doing an incredible thing, putting himself out there and doing these amazing challenges of cycling to the elevation height, the equivalent elevation height of Mount Everest every month, cycling that. It's just absolutely staggering. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get in touch with Nigel again not too far away, and I'm going to invite him back on the podcast to give us an update on how he's going. But I just thought I'd give you an update on Nigel and that he was successful in his most recent Everesting climb in the month of April, and congratulations to Nigel on doing it yet again. So, ladies and gentlemen, clickables in the show notes, as I always say. Go and check out the dirtydozen.12 on Instagram. That's the dirtydozen.12, the number 12 on Instagram, and follow Nigel on just how he's going with his 2025 year of Everesting challenges. Quite remarkable. Ladies and gentlemen, what a fantastic episode that was. Couple of great guests in Tim Warren, Superintendent Tim Warren from Glenelg, and also Greenkeeper from the UK at Piltdown, Josh Smith. Now, you may or may not know, actually there's a connection between those two gents, and that is that Josh was over a few years ago to do a stint of work at Glenelg Golf Club. So it's great to have them both on the same episode of Walking the Fairways. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thanks to everyone involved. I hope you got a kick out of that one. There's lots more coming in Walking the Fairways as we continue throughout the year. There's lots of great information coming out of a number of projects around the country, and I'll continue to try and get some insight from those on the ground and hearing about what's going on, like I try to do to hear straight from the horse's mouth, which is something that I'm really trying to make sure that we can keep getting for you guys and girls out there to hear about what's going on around Australia. Now, don't forget, if you want to share what's going on at your golf course and how you're improving, feel free to get in touch with me. A small club, a big club, anywhere in Australia you're doing projects around your golf course, you're trying to improve what you can, let me know because I want to share it. I want to give you a shout out. I want to share just what you're up to and highlight where you are and who you are. And maybe we can get some more people interested in playing golf there and visiting your course to see just what it's all about. But great to have some great insight. I've had wonderful insight, of course. We had Superintendent Adam marching on for a unique Walking the Fairways where he and I literally did an entire podcast episode recently where Adam was able to give us so much in the detail and understanding of what's going on at Royal Sydney with their full redesign by Gil Hance. And look, I'm probably going to try and see if I might be able to do some more of those types of podcast episodes as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I say, no matter which golf course you're at and you want to share that news and information about what you're doing and how you're improving your golf course, please get in touch with me either through social media or you can send me an email at thegolfinggreenkeeper@gmail.com. There'll be clickables in the show notes, so feel free to get there and find them, and that's how you can get in touch with me. And check out my social media as well. We're going to have lots of images and bits and pieces showcasing some of the stuff that we're talking about on the podcast episode so you can see just exactly what's happening. Don't forget, I've got the new YouTube channel, which I'm slowly starting to add to. It's got the podcast episodes coming out on there regularly, just as they get released on every other platform. So if YouTube is your preferred platform of choice, you can go to YouTube and you can stay and click subscribe and stay up to date and listen to the podcast episodes through there. One of the things that I'm going to be doing more of, and I just only released one video so far from Royal Sydney, is I'm going to be sharing some information and videos particularly about some of the courses that I'm visiting. So that's where you'll be able to see and hear about what's going on in some of the courses that I'm catching up to see what they're up to and how they're going, but also some of the courses that I visit you might not have been able to see before. You might be curious about what they are and what they look like and what they're like on course. So have a look at my YouTube channel, click subscribe because there's going to be more videos coming soon with lots of different things that I know you will want to see and you'll enjoy seeing. Now, thanks to partners of Walking the Fairways, of course, Stint Golf Solutions, and their footy tipping comp for both AFL and NRL. Check out their website for all their products available at dint.com.au. And of course, thank you also to Colin Campbell Chemicals. And you can check out their podcast, Behind the Turf, and also all of their plant protection products available on their website at campbellchemicals.com.au. All clickables in the show notes, ladies and gentlemen, so make sure you check them out before you finish up. One last reminder, I've got a new episode of The Design Brief coming out, and that is with golf course architect Ryan van der Veen. And Ryan has an incredible story to tell you about the early days of his career and what's got him to becoming a golf course architect here in Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave you with it. You hit them clean, we'll keep them green, and I'll catch up with you very soon.